5 commands. That's literally all you need to start working with data in Python like a pro. If you are going into data science, NumPy is the engine under the hood of almost everything. And today I am going to show you the 5 essential commands you should memorize today using a real beverage data set. So let's go. Run Jupyter Notebook. The first command number 1, is the gateway. So we cannot call or use NumPy if we don't have it installed. What we are going to do, the first command number 1, is the gateway. You can't use NumPy if you don't call it. So we need to first of all install NumPy. So we do pip install. So now pay attention to this command that I'm about to do now. So if I do pip install NumPy, alright, it will go. So I'll hold my shift down and hit enter, right, and it will go. So this is how to install NumPy, alright. And in some situation now it's telling me that I already have NumPy installed and I may need to restart my kernel. So how do I restart my kernel? So I'll come here like this and click on the kernel, and then I'll click on restart kernel, and then I can click on restart kernel like this, and my kernel is restarting. Now that NumPy is being installed, the reason why it's telling me require already met is because I already have it installed. If you don't have it, it's going to install it. Now after installing, the next thing you need is to import. Okay, you need to use it. Before you can use it, you need to have it. So we say import NumPy as what? NP. Alright, so we say import NumPy as NP like this. Now, so this as that you are seeing here, this as here is an alias. Alright, it's just like when you say Abraham aka God's servant. This is how you can have an alias, so we don't have to type NumPy 1,000 times. So that's why we are so anytime we say NP, we are referring to NumPy. So it goes at the top of every script that you want to use NumPy. Now command number 2, creating an array. Now let's say I just want to look at the unit sold column as a list of numbers. I'll now do something like this, but note that in Python a regular list look like a square bracket like this, that's a normal list. But in NumPy give us something better, which is called an array. And what is an array? This is how an array will look like. So in a normal setting you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But an array, for you to use an array, you will have to have something like this. If I print sale like this, so let's print sale. We print sale like this, sales, and I hit shift enter. So you can see that it's returning a square of numbers returning to us. Okay, so this is how it appears. This is how it will appear. So NumPy, the np.array, it turns that list into a NumPy array. It now have a special power unlike this. So if I give it a variable, now let's say I give this a variable, I say example like this, and then I print the example. Let's print the example and let's see the difference. So can you see the difference? So this is a normal list data structure, and this is what an array data structure provided by NumPy. Alright, so this is how you can create a NumPy with values. Now let's say we want to the next one is command number 3, command 3, checking for dimensions with the .shape method. This is my favorite sanity check. So let's say we want to check if the rows and column of our data, for example. So you can use the .sale. So I'll come here like this, and then I'll pass in something like this inside this cell. So I'll just pass in .shape. I'll call it .shape like this. Okay, and let's hit enter. This tells us that we have one dimension with 4 elements. This is showing us that we have what? One dimension with 4 elements. So if I was working with the whole table, for example, this shape will tell us the rows and columns. Always check your shape. It saves hours of debugging. Arithmetic and broadcasting, let's look at that. Command number 4 is actually a concept, basic arithmetic, but with NumPy. So let's say I want to see what sales would look like if we had a massive promotion and sold 500 more units of each beverage, for example. And then we'll now say, let's create a variable. Remember, we already have a sales like this, so we want to add a new item to it. So what do? We'll now have promotion. So like we said, a promotion is bringing additional sales, right? Plus 500. Can you see? Plus 500. So we are saying that add 500 to the list of sales. So 500 is going to be included here. Okay. Let's leave it as 500. I've been pronouncing 500. All right. Now, if we now print promotion sales like this, let's print promotion sales. So we do promotion like this underscore sales, and we run enter. So can you see now? So 500 has been added to each one of them. So instead of this to be 8,500, is now 9,000. 10,000 is now 10,500. 10,500. 12,000 is now 12,500. So 500 has been added to each of the items, each of the value that we have, right? But then in a normal Python loop, you will have to write a for loop to do this. But NumPy uses something called broadcasting, which is what we just did. Okay, so this expression here, we are broadcasting. Okay, so it automatically adds that 500 to every single item in the array. So if you are coming from Excel, think of it like dragging a formula down a column. It's instant, it is fast. All right. So now this also works for addition. okay, division, you name it. That is why NumPy is the foundation of data science. All right, so you must understand that. Now the final command we'll look at it is the command number 5, statistical summaries. We don't just store data, we need to understand it. So let's look at the price per unit column for these 4 rows. Okay, so remember I don't have we're not using a full data here. All right, so but then if we have 50 cent, 50 cent and 40 cent, for example. So if we have something like this, or let me bring it down here so that I can still use that print function. So can you see? So here we have prices 0.5 cents, 0.40 cent and 0.45 cent. What is the price average? If we want to find out what is the average price point, for example, we can do something like this. We can call the average. I'll call the average underscore price like this. Average price equal to, and then I call the NumPy and then call the mean, and then inside the mean I'll now pass in prices like this. Okay, and then let's now print average prices now. So I'll move average prices in here and replace it with the promotion, and let's see. So can you see now? So our average price is 0.46. The NumPy.mean method, just like that. And if we want to see how much the price varies, essentially for pricing strategy, we use standard deviation. Okay, so the same thing we did here. Okay, we can just bring it down. Here I'll bring it down here, and once I hit enter like this, so it's giving us 0.0414 or 0.041. all right, so this is how you can use. So these two functions are your best friend during data pre-processing. They tell you the story behind the numbers before you even start building models. So to recap, let's recap the 5 commands you need to memorize today and to know. Number 1 is import NumPy as NP. Number 2, create NumPy with NumPy.array method. Then they use the dot shape to check your data to know the columns and the rows that you have in your data. Then you can also broadcast with plus, minus, multiplication and division. Then the insert, to get insight into your data, you can use the dot mean and the dot standard deviation. So that's all you need to get started. My question for you, which one of these 5 will you try first? Will you check the shape of your data or maybe calculate the mean? Let me know in the comment. Pick one and commit to it today. And if you found this useful, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more data science shortcuts. See you on the next one.